66 years. So what side of the curve are we on? The declining side. So let's take a look at adulthood. You see where adulthood is on this? It's on the growing side, right? Take a look at we're going to be the fountain of youth here. It's the only life cycle stage where all 4 organizational principles are dominant. All 4, vision, programming, relational processes, and management, are all dominant. It's a growing stage. Okay, just kind of keep that in your head. It's one of these again. Okay. What's happened between adulthood and maturity? Can you see what happens? You start to decline, the vision goes bye-bye. Yeah, it actually gets lost or it's inwardly focused. Okay, and it drifts. I want to spend a little bit of time on the back side of the curve because guess what? That's where we are, is the back side. And there are 5 stages on the back side: maturity, empty nest, retirement, old age, and death. So you got those. Can you see where those are? It mimics the life cycle of a human being, right? So let's take a look. Maturity. That's a time when the intentional discipleship process is really very good, but there's no focus in bringing in new people to the faith. In other words, it turns inward and we begin focusing on our own people. The vision has been lost or blurred, turned inward. Focus of the congregation is to sustain and maintain because we're doing so good, okay? We take very little risk. It's a time of great maturing of disciples. It's the feeling that what we're doing is working. The reality is, with few people coming in, decline is already starting to set in. We just don't know it. Finances are good. Programs are good. Everything's strong. And we focus on the building. It's an interesting thing. Empty nest. How many of you are empty nesters? Yeah. Okay. Decline is felt in empty nest in both quality and quantity. You hear comments about the fact that we're declining, but nothing changes. The decline keeps happening. The empty nest is characterized by nostalgia. Do you remember when we used to? Do you remember when we used to have all those people in that personal faith class? Do you remember when we had 500 people in worship? And after a while that turns to anger. If only they would be more committed. You see, if you just committed more, then it'd all be better. Have you heard that? If only they would just, and they, you can put anybody in the they that you want. If only they would commit, it would be better. Okay? The spiritual and relational processes are still in place, but the programming to nurture the people and use their gifts is on the decline. Do you see how that shifts? Programming and vision, little letters. Then there's retirement. How many of you have transitioned into retirement? That's a transition, isn't it? It takes some time. It's characterized sometimes by private despair and weariness on our part, and certainly those are 2 characteristics in churches who are entering the retirement stage. Longtime members believe that the congregation is no longer a place to bring their friends. And they're hesitant to invite. Programs and management dominate, so the programs have revived, but the relational processes have diminished or disconnected. And the people ask for growth that will help the church look like it did when they were young. And then when it doesn't happen, it causes conflict. These last 3 stages, retirement, empty nest, and maturity, are the highest potentials for conflict in a congregation, and retirement is the highest. Because we revitalize programming, but it doesn't look like we expect. So we criticize it, and it bleeds out. Okay? There's more silos of ministry and less connection between the ministries. And at some point, everything goes down the tubes, and we slide into old age. Old age, we lose our programs. we lose our hope, and we just want someone to come in and take care of us. Okay? And from there, the church dies. Are you depressed yet? Okay. Pretty close. It's kind of tough to know where we need to go if we don't know where we are. All right? So we've already deduced that Asbury's on the back side of the curve. Let's use worship attendance through which we can look at this life cycle and see where we are on the curve. Now, I'm going to tell you as an engineer, this was pretty straightforward to me. I just drew a little red line where the data didn't add up to make the shape right. And you can argue with me about what that little line is, but we're not there anyway. We're on the declining side, so it really doesn't matter, okay? So let's go through those three pieces again, and I want you to take a look at our worship data over the past 30 years or so. Maturity, again, low vision, high relational processes, high programming, high management, those three are dominant. When intentional discipleship process is high, but little to no focus in bringing in new people to the faith. Risk-taking is low. Maturing disciples, we are really good at that at this point in our life. Now, I want you to think back to about 1992. There was a class here called Personal Faith, is that right? And out of that class came 3 people who went into professional ministry. That was 1992. That sounds like the maturing stage, right? Because that class was full. How many people in that class? 120. Okay. All right. Finances were good. Focus on the building. What did we do in 1997? We remodeled. Did we add any space to the sanctuary to welcome in new people? No, we built. We turned it aside, which, by the way, was very progressive, and I love it. What was the other thing we built? Management. Right? So, maturity is 1997. We got 20 years to go, right? All right, empty nest. Programming declines. We still have some relational processes in place. People begin to say, I wonder where so-and-so is. I wonder where so-and-so is. Haven't seen them in a while. It's characterized by nostalgia. Gee, do you remember when? And then anger, and then the programs begin to disintegrate, and we say, if only those young people would commit more. Okay, is that sounding familiar? Are we in the empty nest? We've at least passed through it, have we not? Yeah. Some of you folks have been here a while, you can think of some incidents, right? All right, well, let's take a look at retirement. Now remember, this is the one that has the most capacity for conflict. It is the most likely time a church will split, right? It's characterized by private despair and weariness. Longtime members believe it's no longer a place to invite new people. They become hesitant to invite others, and the relational outreach diminishes. Programs and management, programs come back up. So we revitalize some things in the programs, but the relational processes are disconnected, disoriented, diminished. And program becomes a task. And silos dominate. Is any of that ringing a bell? Now, I heard stories. I'm just hearing stories because it was before my time. But a time a really creative youth ministry was happening. And what happened? Y'all know the story, right? What happened to that youth ministry? It was being done at Community of Joy. And the complaints started, did they not? Come on, I hate to feed it to you because y'all know the story. I'm not saying that was a good ministry or bad ministry. I'm just asking what happened. And what happened? There was conflict, was there not? And it came to a head, and then what happened? Y'all, we can't know where we're going till we know where we've been. What happened when the conflict came to a head? People left, and it was a big enough number that it was upsetting, because that's all I heard about when I came. Right? Where are we? Old age, you lose your programming, you lose your hope, and you want more care of the congregation. What you want is a chaplain. Let me tell you a story you may not know. When I came in, who was on staff parish when I came in? Anybody here? No? Okay. Then nobody will be here to refute my story. When I came in, I was told by the staff parish, we expect you to do more pastoral care. Is that inward or outward? Is that chaplain or leader? Chaplain. You know what I told him? No. I will not. I will help you develop pastoral care programming to care for this congregation, but I won't do it because that'll kill you. You see it? Where do you think we are now? And I'll give you a clue what I think. I don't think we are where I found you 6 years ago. Okay? So that's good news, because that's old age. Where are we now? What do you think? What do you think, Linda? Going up, but where are we? Take a look at what's dominant. What's dominant now? We have vision. No, probably not. Relational processes. That's coming. Programming. That's coming. Management getting tweaked. That's coming. Do you feel hopeful? Yeah, I think you're doing better. But my guess is you're somewhere around empty nest and retirement. Depends on where we are. Is that a fair guess?
So we can back up.
I am the life and the resurrection, said Jesus.
In the human life, we cannot back up.
Only through death, but a congregation can back up if we die to ourselves. Because remember, where's the vision right now? And if we're willing to die to ourselves, yes, there's new life. Yeah, Marilyn.
I have a question. According to that model, there really shouldn't be any churches older than maybe 85 to 100 years old.
Well, we're already older than that model, and that will continue. That's a natural process unless you intentionally interrupt it. And there are ways to do that, and we're working on them. We're working on them. There is new life.
Yes, so one way to look at it is if we get off of that curve by developing a new
Yes.
curve, then we don't have to go through that second half of the process.
That's correct. What Carl said is if you get off the curve and create a new curve, it's a new game. And the way you do that is you have all four of those dominant pieces along with the Holy Spirit in place. And which one's missing right now? Vision. Okay? So we're making progress is what I'm telling you, and this is not a fast progress. Do you know why dandelions are so tough? This is not a squirrel, this is a real question. They go deep roots, right? How can you kill a dandelion? You can dig those suckers up all day long. That's not easy. How do you kill a dandelion? You get the whole root if you want to put that much work into it. You can poison it. Do you know what the poison for a dandelion is? Uber fertilizer. It grows itself to death. It grows so fast it can't support its own system and dies. I am not a proponent of fast growth. It'll kill us. I've seen too many churches implode. All right? Slow, steady growth that goes deep is the right path.